what made the difference is presence. Slater was there in all these early plays, while Style was always somewhere else and it was away. He was absent, so no wonder they give him gold when he's there to take it. And again, SBTC opens up this draft with this crucial Jinx ban the GAM left open, and yeah, they need to address it in some way. The Xayah is banned, so again, they need to find a pick that is safe for Style. The Varus,
that works.
The Donger.
That contests the wave pressure. That's what I was after. It's going to be very different. It's going to rely on the solo laners to do a decent amount of carrying come the later stages, but that is a curveball I'm happy to see.
Okay, now SBTC needs to take the Lissandra to make Varus as scared as possible. You need to keep him away from the fight as much as possible. The Maokai is open and DNK immediately takes it, even with the Gragas open. That's important. Right. I think this is crucial if you want to make this Varus as unsafe as possible. They go for the Lulu. I don't think it was necessary, but could have taken it later. But anyway.
Arguably, like, GAM doesn't necessarily want the Sandra angle unless they're going to pull out another carry jungler for the side of Levi. That Kindred in game 1 was pretty impressive, so maybe that'll be their angle this time. Unless, of course, the bans come through and we just see it taken away. But I think with that setup, they might be looking again for Levi to carry. Graves definitely an option. Not as high presence as the Kindred on this patch, but with a few more things being buffed on live patches, they might feel confident taking them anyway.
So this Jax pick again in R3, third pick. Okay, Jax wasn't a problem last game. Kaya actually played it very well, and his counter-strike was crucial against this double AD carry composition, so that's fine. But at the same time, you're again leaving SBTC the possibility to counter pick, where at the same time, who are you leaving your counter pick to on GAM? Do you counter pick for Kati? I think that's a good way to put him out of the painful spot that he was in this last couple games, especially with the Victor. That did not work out. You want to give him another pick. He plays a lot of champions. He's like 15 champions played, so surely he has more cards to pull out of this deck, and I want to see more.
Yeah, I'm wondering where this is going to go with the Talia and the Ahri ban. Maybe it's looking like they could try and blind the Syndra, but nope, they are just going to lock in that Kindred there. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how they plan out the rest of the draft around this pick. Syndra could be good because you can, I mean, it's not how you normally play, but you can push people out of the Lambsdorff fight with the Scout of the Week, and it's been such a strong pick regardless, so that's going to be the lock-in for Dia, the hover at the very least for Dia. Going to be picked up, and now counter pick for top lane. Could just run back Cassante, but I mean, Gragas is open as a top lane answer to Jackson to counter to the answer to the Kindred ult in team fights as well. So that
also
could be an
the
option.
Jace maybe they like provide some physical damage since they already have the Syndra for magical. Well, or tank. Tank is always fine. I don't know if the matchup is great into Jax, but Malphite provides a lot of things. Like with the Maokai, with the Malphite, you have a commanding entrance into every team fight. That's a powerful front to back that SBTC picked for themselves.
And with the Galio last pick, Malphite's living at the dream right now. He does not have a big magic threat to worry about, but he has many people who want to bonk him on the head or auto attack him. So he's gonna have fun with this build.
I mean, you do have Heimer. If it is a solid game from Xin, then the Heimer could become problematic to some extent, but it's not too much. The range advantage of the Tell, both teams have quite a bit of range to kind of work with here, which is another interesting one because you both have hard engage, you both have a lot of range to work with. Like, it's a very clashy game when it comes to drafts. So this is probably our most conflicted section of which team do you think takes this game and why?
I think it's the hardest to predict. As I said, the front to back for SBTC is amazing, and they can literally press the button whenever they want. However, GAM has the tools to, again, as I said, disengage the Kindred ultimate, the Galio ultimate, the Counter-Strike. So they have tools to navigate disengage. I'm willing to say the GAM wins because of this new bot lane that they are trying. Let's see if Style can deliver.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually run SBTC on the basis that their composition should be a little bit easier to execute, and that'll be a major deciding factor.
Let's see if SBTC can close out the series and take one against GAM, or if GAM can take us into game number 5. Carrix and Youe wrap up the series.
Wrap up the series. So that is a bold call coming in again from our desk, favoring the Chickens, favoring GAM to lose their first series. Very, very exciting stuff.
I brought it up last game, or we looked at the stats for this iteration of GAM for the Kiaya Levi era. They have lost 4 best of 5s throughout the years, but never have they lost in less than 5 games. So
True.
if they lose this game, this would be the worst performance in a best of 5 for Kiaya and Levi together ever, which is unbelievable to think about. But it would be, at least domestically, of course. But that's the reality we're looking at. And Slater is one of the players that actually has a decent matchup into Levi, historically, of course. Ripped away 2 titles, won 3 best of 5s against him in 2020, and is a 2-time VCS champion. Back to the finals. It is more than possible. It's looking almost likely now.
Oh, it's a bold call to say likely. I just can't bet against them, Youe. It's too hard. I've seen too much from them.
No. You should never do it.
But regardless, look at this man on your screen, Slater. He's had 2 enormous performances on Jinx. He gets it a 3rd time. I think that's a mistake. I'm going to be honest. I think not banning the Jinx is a mistake. But looking at the other ADC, Varus has been a champion that has come out in GAM's darkest hour before, your way.
Exactly that. That is what we have to focus on, because last year GAM lost their first best of 5 in a very, very long time. Since the final in 2021 winter, they hadn't lost a single best of 5 series. As we have a big engaged Pilatus continuing with his ultra aggression, heal aggressively, but yeah, okay, they couldn't walk away. So let's focus on Style. Style Varus was the pick that completely changed the entire series against SGB. They lost against SGB in the upper bracket final, the same stage they're at right now. And 2-3, because of bot difference, Shogun just outperformed Style. And then 3 days later, they played the final, and GAM 3-0'd SGB in the summer finals. And you know why? Because they found another ADC. They found the Varus pick for Style. Style was able to stand up to Shogun and neutralize the lane, and the rest of his team carried. So they're trying this once again. Slater has been the better ADC on the day, so they're back to Varus, they're back to equalizing, neutralizing the bot matchup, so that the legendary top side of Kiaya, Levi, and Carti can carry.
I do just want to go back to that earlier play that we talked a little bit over. Because my word, Paulette, what a series he's been having. He's been so aggressive, both in this game and in the last, on this Lulu, which we absolutely love to see. He is the madman of the VCS. DNK lurking in the brushes, looking to get Slater ahead once again.
DNK, this is a hard one to make work with the flash.
Style doesn't have flash, so they move forward. Style, will he go down fast enough? He will, but in comes Levi. That's a mark picked up. Slater now, next target, cleanses to get away. Levi needs to be careful, taking a lot of damage, but Paulette is on the chopping block. He goes down, Zin picks it up.
That's the Levi magic. That's back on the hard carry champion. He's here to bring his team to yet another final, to once again stamp his authority on this league that he has dominated ever since coming back to it in 2019. 6 titles for Levi, and the first strike goes to him in this game.
So he has the 1 stack on his passive. Let's have a look at the replay. And
It just took a little too long to kill Style. Levi is here with blue buff, with red buff under his belt, and the Conqueror stacks pretty slowly, actually. It's only stacked right now, I believe. You can see it turn yellow, yeah, here. So the Conqueror took forever to stack. A different rune would have been better there, but still a bit too strong to contest on the Jinx Lulu because Levi with red buff and blue buff can just jump forever. Almost gets another kill. The second one going over to Xin is not bad either, though, because of course this is a mage support, so it likes some gold as well.
Conqueror is very much a mid-game rune for Kindred, when you can spam your Q, stack it up really quickly, but you get a lot of value in those drawn-out mid-game fights. Not as amazing in the early game as something like potentially Hail of Blades, but Hail of Blades is really bad after the early game.
Yeah, the one thing that actually went SE's way is yet another early game kill for the Jinx, 4th style. Rebel called it out on the desk. Unbelievable how many kills he has gotten, especially early on in the game, the first 10 minutes, and yet again, he's off to a 1-kill start, but they will lose the early game objective on the bottom side. GAM drafted for this, right? They had the Heimerdinger, which kind of has fallen out of the meta because it's very useless after the laning phase, after the nerfs, but it's still strong in lane. They still got the priority down, so Dragon Snowball is an option, and the Keck tech is not on the Rift this time, so that's out of the way.
That's always nice, for sure. And a bit of a setup down here. Levi stealing away a Krug camp. This man has had so many Krugs on Kindred today.
Yeah, it's true.
He's been the absolute Krug monster.
His favorite camp for sure to invade. Last game he played Kindred, of course, was much easier later on in the game. Now it's a bit riskier. DNK, look at him. How is he this tanky already? Just 2 ruby crystals, so... he's not that easy to cut down for the side of GAM with their relatively low damage composition in the early game, especially when you consider the Galio. And the Kindred needs a bit of time to scale into decent damage as well. So this Maokai in early objectives fights could actually buy so much time for the Jinx. I like the setup a lot, because while the Gragas was amazing at setting up team fights, it wasn't really the biggest of front lines, right? So this is now a different style of play, or different style of team fighting that SBTC is trying for. A little bit more traditional front-to-back team fighting, and I feel like that's even easier to make work.
I agree. GAM's bot lane has pushed in, picked themselves up a plate, equalizing some of that early difference that the kill got Slater. Of course, Style did pick up 2 assists, so he's not actually too far behind. Serrated Dirk has already been grabbed.
That was mark number 3, Carrix.
Yeah.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm thriving. As a Kindred enjoyer, I've been having a fun series to watch. We'll have to see if the Kindred 100% win rate stays true after this game. I do think this game is much harder to navigate. The Galio just not doing anywhere near as much as the Lysandra to give you agency to invade.
Yeah, this time they really are the main carry of the whole composition. Yes, last time they were set up as well, or as mid-jungle combination, but there was still a really strong ADC behind them, right? This time around, Varus is gonna be more of a backseat role, more of a poke role, not the main DPS carry, so the Kindred really has to shine here. And yeah, Levi needs to keep accelerating. He's already ahead of the curve, but there are 2 tanks he has to face later on in the game. So if he doesn't stay ahead, that Malphite can be quite pesky.
Yeah, the one thing that Kindred does really do here is it stops the one-shot pops where Enper just flies in, a Scat of the Week goes with him. You just dump the ult, and whoever's getting targeted will survive. Maokai ultimate is used. Kiaya on top of DNK. This is going to be a takeaway. Oh no, Dia 1 somehow manages to... Wait, I thought that was the Rift Herald. What am I talking about? He's killed in the bot lane.
Yeah, no, he just killed the Heimerdinger that just sat there trying to save the exit from GAM. It's still a winning play for GAM, I believe, because SE started the Rift Herald and GAM just stole it away, just ran into the river. Now Dia1 needs to be careful. Flash already burned. Ooh, barely got away from that stun.
Lovely Scat of the Week as well. Dia1 showing off those Syndra mechanics. Palette now moving into the bottom side. Has ult. Style gets away.
Another flash burn from Style. Maybe this time DNK can get him again, because he flash W'd him the first time and they got a kill. Okay, it was paid back with Levi reacting there, but this is yet another opportunity to kill Style and get some more gold onto your Jinx, who's doing fine in CS. Yes, she's losing some gold to plates, But that's alright. I mean, the enemy team composition is built to dominate the bot lane early, so losing a bit of gold there is not the worst thing that has ever happened to them. Losing the whole tower is a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, that's a bit worse. The Herald has been taken down. They don't have amazing tower take, but they can't walk through Wolf's Frenzy. So they have to just back off. It's all on DNK, but with only 1 minion left, he will hold the tower.
He's so tanky so early in the game, so it's very hard to die from. Sap Magic also keeping him healthy there on the tower. It's a very strange situation on the map right now, where the bot lane can't walk up to the bot tower, and instead it's the jungler sitting on the tower, farming away at those minions, as many as he can. But of course, this is all going in favor of Levi. He's now level 8. He got another cam to steal, and I'm not sure if he
going on tile. This is a really bold decision. There's teammates in range, and now DNK going low. He's just going to go down. Oh my god!
What has SBTC just done? They've lost their minds. Levi was still on the same screen as them. DNK.
Unacceptable.
He must have scrimped with Maokai where he went AP, because he thought he had the damage to just one-shot the enemy ADC, but he has only built HP so far. There's no damage behind his initial combo. That was a shocker.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see at all. A second dragon now to GAM. We head to an Infernal Rift. Let's have a look at this.
I mean, interrupting the back is actually a really nice play from DNK, but he doesn't need to commit at all.
They expected the rocket. They expected the rocket, but it hit Levi.
Yeah, but even then, it's still so risky to fight into Levi, who's so strong. Wow, this now gives GAM a huge advantage. Probably the biggest early game advantage we've seen in the game. 2 dragons, 2k gold lead, a Kindred in a really strong position yet again. The red side counter pick paying dividends once more. That's the first item completed. That's a Rod of Ages on Galio. Not sure if that's the normal build, but whatever. The Galio is not really participating in the game. And yeah, GAM is once again super comfortable. It seems like the red side counter pick strategy is working out today.
Well, your way. This game is getting very, very interesting. Rocket tried to be used to clear the wave there, but Style sidestepped it, so the explosion doesn't go off. That's going to be a tower to Style. He's massive.
Yeah, Style is pretty strong as well. But now Enper with the dive. Maybe DM1 can get the kill. Nicely done.
He certainly can. Unleash the power. And once again, Dia1 on Syndra picking up kills.
Yeah, that's the DM1 magic. We have seen it so many times, we can't even count it anymore. 39 solo kills in that one season. Spring 2020, I believe, when DR1 was the prodigy on GAM, the new mid laner for GAM. He never won a title, but he dominated every single regular season. And this was his main champion, still his most played of all time. I think he's sitting on a 79% win rate on his most played champion ever, which is absolutely incredible. But yeah, there he goes again, 2-0. Maybe he can be the one to get SE into a winning position again after this fumbled early game.
Yeah, but I mean, watching Style right now, he's scary. I mean, if a Q lands onto Slater, they kind of just have to concede whatever objective is up at the time.
Yeah, and also look at the items for Xin, who's generally been outperformed by Palette this series at least, but he's now such a huge menace as well. First item, Riley's at 13 minutes already. He doesn't need any more. He can just freeze the game here. And this is now actually a damage threat as well. He adds so much control to the team fights. It's lovely to play with this perma slow field when you are Levi on the skin.
Kiaya was getting baited, but now it's turned into a bait as DNK. Where the hell are you going?
How did he end up there?
He went under tower. He went under tower. They immediately realized there's 3 of them. We have to call this off. But why did you call it in the first place?
That was way too aggressive, and it seems like SBTC is already activating desperation mode. They already lost the game against Kindred, and they think the Kindred is free scaling. They can't let it happen, but it's just insult to injury now.
I think we need to give a little bit more credence to Clockwork's theory. The BJ brain was plugged in last game, and he's taking it back out this game. Put it back in. Put it back in.
Oh no! If the BJ brain is superior, then something has gone wrong, I think.
Oh, and style. Yep, rock.
Okay, they at least are making stuff happen. Okay, some of the plays are really over-aggressive, but they are getting kills back, and GAM can't walk away with this game for free. At least a little bit of a synergy between the two solo laners who have been stepping up this game as their junglers let them down. Maybe Enper and Dia1 can get this team back into a good position, but GAM now with an almost 4k gold lead and 2 dragons already.
This is an interesting early game your way. Let's have a look at this replay.
He was spotted on 2 wards, by the way. This is the laziest death of all time. Okay. I mean, honestly, if I would style in this case, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Hey, you flash ulted for me. Fine. Kill me. I wanted to go back to base. You got me back to base. Whatever, dude. It's...
It was a shutdown, though, so Enper is going to get tankier and tankier. If he can absorb some of that lethality Varus damage, he's not going to care about it at all.
Yeah, the Kindred does steal a decent amount of...
ult,
Yeah,
whipping
shouldn't
across,
do much.
blocked.
DNK, please just calm down. We don't need you to dive in again. You just hold your horses. You can do this a little more late game. Of course, Style once again without a flash, so he's a juicy target, but we've seen what happens when he oversteps this line and just goes into the back line. 0-3, much worse game than in the last 2 Gragas games for DNK. He just needs to chill a bit to set up his Jinx to scale.
I have to say, using that Maokai ultimate there, with Dragon spawning in 3 seconds, is not the best decision I've ever seen. That's going to move GAM up to Infernal Soul Point. I can already hear the shitty 2012 dubstep playing.
What? Ah, right.
Silver
The
Scrapes.
Silver Scrapes, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's looking more and more likely. And of course, as I said earlier... Oh, never
In
mind.
goes
That's
the rock! Style, once again, gets rocked.
Style is a bit of an inter this series, and that's another kill to Slater. That is not good for GAM. It doesn't change much about the game state overall, but still more time to scale for the Jinx, more gold funneled into the Jinx, and Style overstepping without a flash, without anyone to save him, into a Malphite.
I love Malphite. Malphite's such a fun champion.
It's so funny to just watch pro players die to Malphite. It's just... we press R, you dead.
It's just, watching Malphite in pro play is really fun because I get to go, yeah, I could have done that. I could have made that play.
True.
I would have gotten farmed in lane and I'd be 0-10, but I could have made that play.
And if Slater is your ADC, maybe it doesn't even matter.
Maybe not, as he has had a very, very good series so far. Might be able to add a third banger game if he can get himself back into this one, but they are 4k gold down your way.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy for them to defend that tower either. There's so much siege potential. There's such good poke, double ADCs with really long range. Kindred and Varus are probably the only 2 ADCs you can combine with 575 range. And that's an easy tower for them. Not 2 towers though, but yeah, that's already setting up for Dragon. And you have Kindred, Galio, and Heimerdinger to set up for a soul fight. How can the enemy team ever even get close to the Dragon? If GAM lose the next Dragon, I think they're going to get a spanking from their coach, because that should be unlosable. There's no way the enemy team gets close to the Dragon even.
Yeah, Hanke will not be happy if they somehow do botch the objective setup, given how strong it is. The mythic item completed there for Style, getting even stronger, still not going to make him avoid Enper ults, which doesn't help.
Yeah, there's a bit of an opportunity there, because his flash is still down. If he oversteps once more, okay, the Dragon is still 2 minutes away, but maybe you can kill him again. Maybe you can set up some vision around the Dragon to actually have a chance at fighting that one. Because, once again, I don't think if it's an even map position, there's any chance for SBTC to get close to the Dragon. They would have to do some crazy plays. They do have the Syndra to get away from to eliminate some of the Heimerdinger potential. She can grab the Heimerdinger turret and just throw it somewhere else, but other than that, it's so hard to get into close position, close proximity to these GAM champions.
Okay, but you're pointing out a lot of things that would stop someone. Why don't you just use an unstoppable force? Think it through. You just use Enter.
It's not actually that easy to play the team fights here. Oh, DNK has to flash. That's huge. That's really bad. He can't rely on his flash W. But to go back to the unstoppable force, it's actually not that easy to do it in team fights in this game because Kindred on the other side can just press W, ultimate of course, and then just kite you and kill you after you already used your ultimate. So it's not the easiest Malphite game, even though the enemy team has 2 ADCs. These ADCs are kind of annoying to play against.
Maokai ultimate used for nothing. It's going to be up before the dragon, but that was still a very, very flaccid ult.
And looking at the items, nothing really has changed for the side of SBTC either. Slater still sitting on 1.5 items, had to go into lifesteal, or felt like he had to go into lifesteal because of the virus poke, so to stay a little healthier, he had to invest 900 gold into that annoying scepter, which really throws back his itemization, so he doesn't actually have 2 crit build items right now. Makes him a bit weaker in the mid game. Then, yeah, okay, Dia1 is actually decently strong on 2 items now, but the rest of the team is really lacking behind.
Kiaya was looking for a bit of a flank as well, but again, they've just put the wall up and they're just not letting SBTC into the river. SBTC might have to make the call to give up Soul and go to Baron, and that's such a hard call to make in this position.
Yeah, especially with this Soul. This is not a keck Soul.
Yeah,
this one actually matters quite a bit.
But how do they get to it?
That's the
it's
problem.
It's already spawned.
It's on the rift. Levi's looking for it. He can start it if he wants to, but he has to engage.
In goes Cardi, trying to get the party started, doing it well. Slater's already been ulted, already had to flash. The fight's already over. GAM has already won it. Enpa running away, has already used the ultimate. The rock is basically useless. GAM, they've chased off the chickens, they've got them out of the coop, and they can go and steal the eggs.
Yep, Smite is gone. That means probably both objectives actually going over to GAM. They could just walk into Baron if they want to after this one. Looks like they want to play it safe and just use their Jack's pressure on the bot lane for another tower. GAM back to game 1 performance, honestly. Just a slow game, playing with their range advantage, with their team fighting advantage. Much better setup this time around. And they played it to perfection. The Heimerdinger was utilized to just kite back. And I like this from Kiaya as well, bringing a little bit of a change to the team fighting, attacking Slater on the side. So everyone is focused on protecting Slater, which means the 2 tanks that are actually on top of the enemy team just get isolated. And as we said earlier, the enemy team does have the damage to kite out the Malphite and the Maokai easily. So now the game in an almost unreachable state for SBTC.
Yeah, it's very hard to even imagine a way that they can win this. The Malphite is becoming more and more useless. The Kindred is able to counter it so well. Kiaya was able to find flanks and immediately blew the Wild Growth and the Flash from Slater. He was unable to participate in the fight. So yeah, he's a 2-0 Jinx. That might look good, but he just has absolutely no agency in this game. He is completely corralled. Xin, every time he puts a turret down, it's basically saying, here is a circle that you're not allowed to enter because of how dangerous the Rylai's slow is. Yue, it's coming down to a best of 1.
Yeah, and there are such fascinating implications for the draft in the next game, because think about what happened here. Lissandra came in as unbeatable for GAM. Now she's kind of fallen to the wayside, even though she's still a copter ban here. But then now we have the Kindred 2-0 for both Levi but also Draktha, so absolutely unbeatable it seems in this league. Do we ban away the Kindred now, even on blue side? Because SBTC can choose to go back to red side now, and could just say, okay, you can't pick the Kindred on the on the blue side, but you never know. It's GAM, it's Levi, so the Kindred is something to worry about. The Tristana is something to worry about for GAM, as they are going to secure an easy Baron. Last chance saloon.
Oh, and they dodge away from the Maokai ult. Emperor can do nothing. He's just walking around in the middle of the team. He's completely useless. He'll get cleaned up. In they go onto DNK. He manages to get over the wall. Kindred not really able to chase into 4. But it doesn't matter that they only get 1 kill. They get the Baron. Ooh, Levi might have gone too far, but Lamb's Respite keeps him alive for now. Walking away.
Oh.
Rocket misses. We're okay. We're in this. And GAM are very much in this.
Yeah, GAM are closing out the game so easily, so controlledly. This is really reminiscent of game number 1. So, what can SBTC do to accelerate the game again? It seems like in slow game paces, GAM is favored to win. 2 games they won in this series were the 2 Kindred games, the 2 front-to-back team fighting games that GAM seems to be just dominating. Even though their composition could play a different way as well. But look at these 2 tanks completely isolated. It's so sad to watch Emperor just walking around so far away from his team, and the Jinx, yeah, she can't follow up on these engages. Yeah. So at this point, GAM is way too far ahead, has way too much damage. Look at the Kindred's itemization. Once again, going for that traditional Kindred build, and she's tanky. She has the extra scaling from the Infernal Soul, and probably something like 10 stacks already, so Levi is way too strong to be overcome.
Yeah, and I've heard that Kindred mains are all really smart and handsome as well. It's just a really good champion. But, yeah, I mean, this is just impossible to approach. Part of the problem is, as you were alluding to, the front line that SE has, you might say, well, it's Malphite and Maokai. That's really beefy. The problem is it goes so far forward that it doesn't actually protect the Jinx from the Jax. So you just have Kiaya just sitting on top of Slater, and yeah, he doesn't necessarily kill him, but he doesn't have to. He just means that you don't get to participate in the fight, and by the time Slater kites it out, the fight's over.
Yeah, and this issue is something that has plagued a lot of VCS teams, but especially SBTC quite a bit this split, where they could play teamfights differently. Maybe if they were an LPL team or an LCK team or a very disciplined Western team, they would recognize, okay, we can't actually dive in. We need to protect our Jinx, play around our Jinx, and we are going to use everything in our tank's arsenal to play defensively and just use the Malphite ultimate to peel instead of go in. But SBTC never does that. If they are behind, they will still go in. They can't ever resist the temptation. I remember the Rakan games where we were screaming for them to just have the Rakan sit on top of their ADC and play it defensively, and every fight he would still flash ultimate in, die instantly. And we're kind of seeing the same here. I don't want to blame Emperor because I think it's actually more of a team issue where the team just doesn't recognize how to play these kind of situations out, but it's certainly something we've seen before from SBTC. And look at that Kindred damage.
It's pretty frightening your way. Varus ult goes out, does miss. A small boon for SE. The Rocket Rain flies through as well. As in goes Emperor trying to get something to happen, but he can't even kill Style anymore. As that is just going to be a team fight going the way, I assume going the way of GAM. Our feed has frozen. But I can look at the mainstream. It's going to be a little bit out of sync, but we can deal with it as SE are all looking out of sync and they're getting wrecked off the map.
Looks like GAM is closing the book on this game rather quickly as they did in game number 1. And such an interesting series. So many things we have to think about, and both these teams have to think about now in the pause going into game number 5. Picks that looked incredible. The Jinx finally actually losing the game for Slater, even though he's still sitting on a 2-0 score line. But the Kindred is now the main pick for the side of GAM. Do they have another Kindred-like pick in their arsenal? Do they just go Kindred on blue side in game number 5? Because Levi has looked incredible on this champion.
Again, and you know this has to be true because I'm a Kindred main saying it. I don't think it matters that it's Kindred. It's just a farming carry jungler. I think he can do this on lots of champions. I think he could do this on Karthus, Belveth, anything like that.
We go in again. Last-ditch effort. DNK
Emperor trying to make it happen. Cardi putting up the wall, just taking 0 damage. Elder is on the map. This could be the steal that wins SE a series. It is possible. So GAM aren't even starting it. I agree with it. You don't need Elder to win this, so don't take it down to a 50-50. Xin goes gold, but it does get the fight. They blow Dia 1 up. DNK is really the only person that matters because he's got a smite. They turn around, do
Okay.
take down Zin, but Zin is not that important. Enper trades his life for it, and look at Kiaya just walking forward, doesn't quite land a stun. Levi bearing them down. DNK will move over to him. No Lamb's Respite. Triple kill now for Style. Going absolutely huge. Levi will get one of his own, as will Kiaya. Ace comes in, teleport to the base, and game 5 is coming. You wouldn't have it any other way. Two huge rivals of the VCS, GAM and SBTC. It's a back and forth series. It's a boxing match. It is a war. And cue up the Silver Scrapes. We have a game 5.
It's GAM. They cannot be beaten.